telling you, music for me also was one of those things that it takes you away, just like a book can.
Welcome to Message Reveal. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, or a story told through lyrics of a song. And you guys, if you rock with me every week, you know how I do. I tell you something about our special guest. But before we get started, if you're new to my platform, please subscribe and find out what Message Reveal is all about. Now let's get back to business, and I want to tell you something about our special guest. It's only a few things about our special guest. So one, she is a host. Number two, she's a geologist. We can't wait to find out about that. And last but definitely not least, she's the founder of CJ's House. You guys, please put your hands together and welcome my beautiful guest, Miss Oh, girl, I almost said Denise. Miss Danielle Leniece. How are you?
Oh, it's so great, lovely. It's so good to see you. So glad to be a part of this that you're building. Third season, go you. Hey.
Thank you so much. As I say to all my guests, you can be doing anything and you chose to say yes to me and be on my platform. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. And I appreciate you right back. Thank you for asking me. Because listen, you asked me and we had just met that day. So, we had a connection right away. You was like, something is going on here with her. I need to get her on the camera.
Yes, because you made me laugh, and I was like, I love your energy. It was very infectious, even though you were sitting quiet. And then when we began engaging, I was like, I just got to get her on the camera. And typically, I would ask a little bit more questions. I said, we're gonna have to work this out. So, and it was perfect because you're so much more than a laugh and a smile. You're so much deeper than
Yes,
that. So
yes.
let's just talk about you being a host. And I feel like that's part of what I met that first day. So give me the background, the impetus of you being a host, how long you've been in, and what was your first gig?
Okay, so me being a host, more recently, I was hosting karaoke at Mariposa. I hosted there for over a year. Before then, I did smaller events. Me and my best friend, she was singing. I would, host. I would greet people. Make sure everything's running smoothly. And then just growing up, I remember just growing up. I'm in that '80s era, right? So every day or weekend was like a talent show. So you putting on, you dancing. They talk about do that one dance, do that. Me and my mama having dance competitions back and forth. So that's just in my personality. It's just me. So when I did start hosting, people was like, "Oh, you are just, you just as crazy, you just as silly," and that's me. I am one of those who can come in and just get the party going. Just have a couple laughs. Loosen up. And so, actually, I just fell right into it because of the personality that's naturally just me. Now, when I started hosting at Mariposa, my mom had recently passed. So I was really trying to find something to do that kept me out of depression. There would be times where that loss like really deeply sat with me. And I was like, you know what, Danielle, we got to get up out of this. We got it. Mama was always loving, my mom was the same. She was the life of the party. She always wanted to cook for everybody, dance, have a good time. So I was like, you know what, a great way to honor that is to get right involved and do, just she'll be right with you. She'll be, rocking with you. So just keep that loving and upbeat spirit about yourself because that's what my mom would want me to do. So it kind of just aligned perfectly. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to do that. And not only, other events such as, birthday parties and, different, tributes. It's really been an honor to just be the person that somebody comes to and say, you know what, I want you to make sure that this party is upbeat and lifted, because it really is a gift to be able to do that and get into a room and get people, laughing and comfortable. So, I'm blessed and grateful to have had those opportunities.
Yes, it definitely is a gift. And again, like I said, we connected, and I was like, wait a minute, she got me over here laughing. I definitely need to, I need to find out more about her. And I'm so glad that we connected. I always say anybody I meet is divine intervention. So it wasn't by accident; it was divine
Mhm.
intervention. So
That's
I'm
exactly.
I'm truly, truly thankful. So, what I have on my platform, if anybody has passed away or transitioned, we always ask that you speak their full name, because once they have passed away, they pass away a second time if we don't talk about them, if we don't tell the stories. And you just mentioned your mother. So, would you say her whole name to honor her?
Yes, Karen Gill Daniel McCarley.
All right. Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yes,
And
yes.
and and I would think you her twin, huh?
Something like that. Something like that, yeah. The older I get, people see me, they like, oh man, you remind me so much of your mom. Like just your energy, the way that, I can come in and give you just that word of wisdom per se, and then upbeat and all the things that, yes, I would say people fell in love with my mom for. They see those same attributes in me, so I'm grateful for that.
That's a wonderful thing. She's smiling like, oh, my baby got what I got.
Ah!
So
Ah,
let's talk about music. Music has turned me all the way out in such a wonderful way. It's my counselor. When I need to be pumped up, I can turn it.
yes.
When I need to be mellowed out, and if I got to take care of some business, it's a certain song I'll put on to do that. I say all of that to say, can you identify a song that has either bless you, distractions, or lessons? Now, before you answer, it's a couple of rules to this, okay?
Okay, okay, okay.
If you can sing, I need you to sing your throat box out, girl.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
If you can rap, I need you to come hard in the paint, okay?
Okay, okay.
But if you cannot do either or, I need you to talk about the lyrics with passion. You know, when they say in the streets, stand 10 toes down, I
Oh,
need to
yeah.
be able to feel what you're talking about, not just you saying it like, I need to feel it. So,
Oh, yes. We got to feel these words, baby. I'm
girl,
with you. I'm with you.
so I'll go back to my original question. Can you identify a song that either provided lessons, blessings, or distraction?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with the lessons.
Okay.
So it's a song called Closer by Goapale. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but
I-
that is a song for me. When I just think about lessons, it hits the spot. It hits the spot. Now, I told you yesterday, my voice a little cackly,
We don't judge. We don't judge on this.
You judge a little bit. They gonna be judging me a little bit. So, but I'm just the song starts off right out the gate with words that just hit my spirit. So I'm gonna start off with those words. So it says, sometimes it feels like I'll never go past here. Sometimes it feels like I'm stuck here forever. And so there have been times in my life where I feel stuck. I feel I don't know what to do. I don't know, what path I need to go down, the decisions of life. And what I've realized also, and everything is in that song. So my next favorite phrase, is leaving all my fears to burn and die. So sometimes when you're in that space and you don't know what to do, we really do know what we want to do, but it's that fear. It's the fear of saying, I'm going to start something new. I'm going to do something new. And it feels like you're stuck because you're battling, standing 10 toes down on what it is you want to do, whether it's people's, judgments of what you may be doing, your self doubt, that fear that you have to let burn and die because that creativity in you, that gift, that passion, you have to let it out. And you will feel stuck. You will feel stuck like you don't know how to get past here or think you can get past the situation, the circumstance, whatever it is that you're facing right there in that moment. And so, going back to the lyrics, close your eyes and see what you believe. Close your eyes. Close your eyes from all the distractions. Close your eyes from all them people that you feel don't believe in you. Close your eyes from all that self-doubt, ridicule, judgment, all of close your eyes and see what you believe. And they also say God gives you a vision. It's that vision is not for everybody. So you close your eyes and see what resonates with you, what is authentic with you, and that's what you go after. It ain't always gonna be easy because maybe you uprooting, maybe you moving, maybe it's something that you've been battling, whatever it is. But when you close your eyes and you believe what it is that you're meant to do, what it is that your mission is here, that's what you go for. And so, closing it out with that song, it says, I can feel my dreams. I'm moving closer to my dreams. So, that right there for me is just a lesson wrapped up right in one beautiful song because you have to see your vision, believe in your vision, feel your dreams. I'm a dreamer to the core. So, I'm constantly moving towards my dreams, and I'm learning that there are a lot of lessons I had to learn along the way for me to fully understand, what I need to do. And it's okay to pivot. Sometimes we move in a way and we like, I don't really like that the way I thought I would. It's okay to pivot, but whatever that is that's in your mind when you close your eyes and you dreaming, stay on that track because that's what's going to give you that true passion and fulfillment because it's something that's in your spirit that you have to let out. So that's my first song that, yeah.
Girl, that was a whole sermon, okay? And you did that. No, and I'm saying this not being facetious. I'm saying this out of love
Yeah.
because you broke that song. I love that song. I've sung it so many times, but I feel like the way you broke that song down
Yeah.
to the simplest form was so elevated. So thank you. Thank you. That what a beautiful way to just
Yeah.
talk about that song.
I'm telling you, that's one of my go-tos, baby. Like, yeah, I cut
Yes.
that on and whatever it is, like I said, sometimes you have to pivot, but whatever it is, you constantly want to be moving closer to
Yeah.
that dream,
Yeah.
whatever that may be. When you close your eyes and you have that vision, that's what you go towards.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
Hmm.
that. The closer in my eyes is just elevation, and we have to
Yes.
continue on that path. And like you say, will be things in the way, but how bad do you want it? And how much are you going to continue to move forward? Because sometimes something happens, we pivot, and we never get back on that road to move
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
So I think what you said is absolutely divine. It's beautiful. And thank you for taking that song. And she gave us a sermon, honey.
I'm gonna do a little preaching to you today.
We'll take all of it. We'll take all of it because the biggest thing is from your perspective, and that's what we
Yeah.
want to know who you are. So thank you for that.
You welcome. You welcome.
Now let's talk about this. I don't think, oh, you know what? I did have one. I did have one. Let's talk about you being a geologist. The
Mm-hmm.
background, I want to know the impetus. Were you sitting in school and it's like, hey, I want to study this. I want to do this. Tell me how this came about.
Okay, so when I first went to college, so I started college at Wilberforce University, which is one of the first HBCUs. It's in Ohio, right across from Central State. Um, I was going to school for civil engineering. Wilberforce at the time didn't have civil engineering, but I started my basic courses and everything like that. So there, it was towards engineering, but like electrical engineering. So after I was there, I then transferred to the University of Dayton. When I got to the University of Dayton, then I got on track to the civil engineering. Now, when I tell you, okay, math, I'm good at math, but that elevated math, okay, I remember being in differential equations and hydraulics, and I remember actually being in my hydraulics class, and it was the first test that all of us took. When I tell you everybody in the class failed except for two people, I was like,
What?
okay, honey, like we got some work to do because answering some of those questions, it would take you like an hour, like to just figure out, get involved, get these were, yeah, intense. So I said, okay. I was in school and at the time I took a class called engineering and geology. So the teacher was amazing, great teacher. And so me and him talked after class one day and he was like, you know what? You should think about being a geologist. And he was like, because you're so interested in this class, you know, in the things. And he was like, you know, you could, you know, transfer over. And because of the field that you were in, it would elevate you basically, you know, moving from one basically path, civil engineering to geology. I wouldn't be off track. I would actually be ahead and I could still graduate and everything. So I was like, okay, let me look into this. So ended up switching over and got my degree as a geologist. Once I graduated from the University of Dayton, I started working in Texas in the gas and oil industry. So I worked in Texas for a while and then I went to Pennsylvania. So I worked in the gas and oil industry, which was, yeah, a whole lessons and, you know, I would say it really showed me how tough I could be as far as being in situations where you're not always welcome, wanted, um, in the field of a male dominated field. So yeah, that taught me a lot. And after working, you know, in the gas and oil industry, I had a couple other jobs. So recently I'm not working in geology, but that is my background and degree. And yes, it was a journey. You
Wow.
know, that path. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Did you work for government or private sector when you did do your work?
It was private sector. Mm-hmm.
So the private sector, do from your perspective, without giving out details or anything, do you think that they hold the regulations the way it should be, or they encourage you to go beyond what the expectations are?
Both. So it was a mix from the different areas that I was working. I would say the job itself, the standards and upholding, that's no problem at all. It's not the work itself that needed to be done. It was more so the environment. And just how people see you. You know, I'm a black young female. I'm in a male dominated field where that's a field women weren't even allowed. Like, just even, I remember one guy told me, women shouldn't even be allowed to be out here. I don't even know why, they hired. So it was more so the fact of a male field where women trying to break themselves into that field, especially being a black female, it was just difficult in that sense at times navigating myself. But as far as the work that needed to be done, all the things that could be handled, you can handle it, without a problem. It's really navigating that space.
I could imagine that. It makes me think about a lady that I work for local government, and she's an architect, and she told me that the men would dismiss her when she would give um, comments and say, "Hey, I think we should do this because of blah blah blah." They would ignore her, and she said she would continue to do her work, and repeatedly they realized she was correct and very accurate, and then they came to respect her. But initially, it was a lot of
Mhm.
pushback. Why are you in this field? You don't need to be in this area. And I
Yeah.
think now, these days, they understand that it has nothing to do with the gender. If they, you can do the work, you can do the work. But
Yes.
just 10 years ago, it was still a lot of pushback, and it still is now in some
Mhm.
areas, but it was a lot of pushback. And think about this lady, I think she started in the early 60s that she was
Oh
telling me.
yeah.
And she was just like, she was dismissed for so many things. And she said to me, she was like, I was better than all of them.
Talk about it. Talk about it. I've had, yeah, when you get into this type of conversation, I have multiple stories that can be told. Um, just of how pushing through and being true to yourself at times as well, because I believe people try to bring out a certain character in you. They do things, they poke you, and then they want to see this person so they can say, there it is. There,
I
there it
told you
go right
so.
there. I told, but you've pushed me. So really just it's the extra effort that has to be put in. For one, you're not being treated like everyone else. Number two, you are being dismissed because yeah, that was a lot of times like you can't possibly know what you're talking about. And people at times, even different management questioning me in front of supervisors and stuff to make it appear as though I don't know what I'm doing. But like you said, with the other lady, you come at me, everything I say is facts. I'm right on point. And so at one point, I was addressed, and then they said they looked at the supervisor and they said, "Is she correct?" And they said, "Yeah, she is
Ooh,
correct." So that made them feel a certain way. But it's like you came over here with this energy. I was minding my business. So yeah, just being able to stand up for yourself once again, 10 toes down on whatever it is that you're doing, because people won't always encourage you. They won't always be behind you. They won't always be rooting for you. And in those situations, you have to be the one strong enough to know you know what you're doing, confident. And at times that can be challenging, but overall, it teaches you that yes, in this world, in this life, you have to be your own advocate. You have
yeah,
to stand up for yourself and let people know I will be here regardless of what, you think, how you think of me, because I deserve this and I've earned this.
yeah, yeah. I think this is a great reminder for not just young ladies, women, period,
Mhm.
to understand that you know what you know. Stand 10 toes down. Don't let anybody discourage you. You will have those moments where you will be challenged. But
Yes.
when you make it over that next level, that's just a badge of honor for you to say, I made it through this. Huh, you can't tell me nothing. I
You
mean,
can't tell me.
no, seriously. So I think it's one of those things that if you don't take on that mindset that you can get through it, you'll quickly crumble.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
so we don't want that. We want you to, and let me say this, because it's a lot of the men versus the women. I don't play that.
I don't play that either.
I'm not into that energy, but I will stand up for women and we will tell the truth on what women has experienced and some currently experiencing. And it's
Hmm.
been times that I even sat at a table with a construction group and they have a lot of acronyms, they have a lot of things, and then they say anybody have any questions and I ask for questions and everybody like, oh my gosh. But I guarantee you towards the end of that process, I knew what these acronym was. I went
Hmm.
back and did research. When I came back to the table, I had something to say, and they set up like, "Who the hell is this?" So,
Exactly. Exactly.
so at the end of the day, yes, you're being challenged, but you put a battery in my back, and now I'm coming, and I'm coming with facts, and now I'm gonna ask these questions. So I would say to any woman, if
Hmm.
you're at the table, you're meant to be at the table and you ask the questions that you need to move forward in and to do your job the best you can. So,
That's right. That's right. And just know, no matter how long somebody has been doing something, I've had this experience a couple times as well. You'll meet people and, oh, I've been doing this, 10 years, 15 years. So realize people have learned along the way. People didn't just get into any industry that they're in knowing everything. They had to learn. And so sometimes I feel like people look down on other people. Maybe I don't know that acronym. Maybe I don't know exactly the way you said, but I'm educated in ways that maybe you aren't. So we're all educated on different things. And just because a person maybe doesn't know exactly at this time what you're talking about, help them
yeah,
you
yeah,
know help them and then move them along like you had to be helped and moved along the way too. So sometimes I think, yeah, and that just sits with people like, because you've done something for 10 years or whatever, you're looking at somebody freshly or new. Of course they're not going to know what you know. You've been here 10 years,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know so
But
you've moved, navigated.
it's true. I think a lot of it was ego.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it was a woman at the table that they felt was new, didn't know. They was just, you can hear, even when one would go,
Oh
like,
yeah.
with that hiss, and I'm
Yes.
the wrong one. I was like, did you have a question? Do I need to stop? And then they stopped that because they probably was like, oh, she gonna put me on Front Street. But after a
Yeah.
while, they learned to respect me. I'm not your friend. I'm here at the table just like the rest of you guys. You're on the construction piece, but I'm on the management piece to make sure we have certain things going. And then it was time where they couldn't do anything. They was like, hey, can you reach out to this person and get this information? Absolutely. I'll CC all
Absolutely.
everyone on there. But I think all of us have been challenged in that way, but it
Yeah.
is up to us to be a leader and to be stern and say, you're not gonna knock me down.
You're
We're
not
gonna
gonna knock
continue.
me down.
Girl,
Huh?
that part.
You're not gonna do that. So yeah, let's keep it moving here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's just, I think when you have those challenges, there are also tools for you to have wisdom and to learn how to navigate those waters. So,
That's true. That's true.
yes.
Yes, definitely.
So let's turn the tables,
Uh-huh.
and I want to dig into your memory bank as a child, okay?
Let's dig on in, baby. Dig on in there.
So, we all receive money, and whether it was for birthdays, whether it was for doing something special, not cleaning the house, because we had to clean the house. You don't get paid to clean the house, all
You
right?
better just have them dishes done and out that sink. I know that. That's what that's what better be done.
That part, I always have to make that reference because, other kids, oh, I got clean for money for cleaning the house. No, listen, you live here right along with everybody else. You're going to clean this house,
You
okay?
gonna clean up, huh? Don't let it be a Sunday. Music is playing. We getting to it. Baseboards and everything. Telling you.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I say all of that to say you gain a little money and you have in your head, you like, ooh, this is what I'm going to purchase. Your first music purchase, whether it was a CD or artist, whatever, but it was without anybody's influence. You made that decision. Can you tell me identify an artist, a song, or something along that line?
Okay, so let me tell you what just popped up in my mind. This was something this generation don't know nothing about, but back in the day, right? So you would get this in the mail, and they say, "Oh, you get 12 CDs for a penny or a dollar or whatever the special was at the time," right? So I remember I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get me, I'm gonna get this pack." So I can't say my first CD. I just know it was a couple of them that came, right? So, but back in the day, let's see, just songs, CDs that I remember just off the top of my head. We gonna throw in some Ice Cube, Tupac, Janet Jackson, Whitney, Jill Scott, Brandy, Monica, like so in that realm, I can't tell you exactly what my selection is when I first filled out that paper with my 12 CDs that I was getting for a penny. Okay. But they came, and I'm telling you, music for me also was one of those things that it takes you away, just like a book can. It can, if you're mellow and you just need to, stay in that space, or if you like, I need to get myself, hyped up for this, I got this event or whatever the case may be. Um, I have been in a musical family. So I grew up in Detroit, Motown. My uncle was Bobby Rogers and Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. So I
What?
remember, just growing up, they rehearsing. Um, and you're a kid, so you're just not really thinking of all the joys that you like, whoa, I'm around, some nice people here. And so I've just always been around music. My family, whether, singing, dancing, we are always, have some music playing. And so those are some of the things that I remember. And so yeah, purchasing that first one, I remember it was in a bundle pack. So it was a couple of them CDs that came. But yeah, that's one of the memories from back in the day I remember. So I know they don't know nothing about that now. But yeah, and they ain't even trying to get a CD now. But yeah, you could get 12 CDs. I think it was Columbia House or
Oh, yes. You brought back a memory.
that was a memory, right? Do you remember that, don't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So, yep, that I
And then
remember
they and
that.
then they tell you 3 months down the line you owe this amount because you be like, wait a minute, but you said it was a
But
penny.
you said it was a penny. Yeah, then you later found out you had to at least buy whatever 20 CDs at the regular price. You like, oh, wait a minute. I done got
Absolutely.
myself caught up.
It was a gimmick. It was a gimmick. But here's the biggest thing. You got the CDs though.
I got the CDs though.
Yes.
I got them CDs though. So yeah, I was jamming up in my room, cleaning up, dancing. You know how you in the mirror, y'all working it out. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Yes,
love it.
ma'am. Since we're laughing, let's talk about you say on your Instagram you're kind of funny, but I think you are absolutely hilarious. And I have to point out to something on your Instagram, and it took me back to an incident. So you and I think it was your best friend, you guys did this little skit. You was like black people when they laugh, and they're
Yes.
like, ah! And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, we don't laugh like that. Not all of us, right? And then I thought about a moment, and I'll paraphrase. We were at my house. My cousin had to tell us something, so we're all gathering.
Hmm.
I have these, what is it? Laffy Taffies. They're banana. I'm passing them around. Everybody's taking some and eating it. And all of a sudden, my cousin eats one and she says, I feel air. And we were like, what are you talking about? Her veneer We fell on the floor. We wasn't laughing. She was crying.
Crying. Like your stomach hurt, your cheeks hurt, everything
We were that depiction of everybody. When I think about it now, I'm trying not to laugh so hard because it wasn't funny for her. We
at
were like,
all.
oh my God. So that was an excellent depiction of
Yeah.
when it is funny, we're not just
Yes.
like, ha ha. We're like,
We pulling, we pushing, we hitting, we I'm telling you. It's a whole situation happening because we trying to get it out. We trying to get it out.
it was hilarious. But tell me what started. I feel like you had to be a comedian from day one, just naturally, because let me just talk about one more. The incident with the guy, you were standing in the freezer and he said, excuse me. And you was like, what? No, I got a man, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I was just trying to tell you your $4 out. He was
Your
like, you
little
ain't even,
funky. He told me my little funky $4.
and then he said, you ain't even thick enough for me anyway.
Exactly.
Where do you guys come up with this? And tell me about your first part of being a comedian.
Okay. So those incidents, yes, those are comedy skits I do with my best friend Cabria. We started Bestie Entertainment in 2014. So me and her met in acting class, and from the day of us meeting each other, we like, oh, it's a connection here. That's my soul sister. So we would just connect and laugh about stuff, right? So we was like, you know what? We gonna do comedy skits. And so the comedy skits stem from real situations. So we make laughter out of, situations that we've all been in at one time or two. Whether it's, having that messy roommate who eating up everything, or, a person not cleaning up behind themselves, or just being out and about. So that video that you brought up was also with another comedian, Tobias. And we just wanted to talk about how sometimes women are very dismissive with men who are just trying to say, hey, or just trying to help, or, like he was just trying to have my funky little $4 not fall out my purse. And, instead of just greeting people with kindness. Sometimes we can just be very quick to, be like, get up out my face with all that nonsense you talking about. And so it's also to just shed some light on how, women can sometimes treat men, and also how men, can feel being treated when they just trying to, be nice to a
Yes.
woman. So it's just to, really shed the light and start the conversation, because I'm telling you that video itself, when I tell you the men in the comments was going crazy. That video has so many comments from men, just, and they were getting their feelings out, honey, about how they feel, about, how women be talking about how chivalry is dead. And it just brought up a wide range of conversations, which you want your content to do. You want, you want to kind of make people feel some type of way, because you want, how are we feeling about this? How are we dealing with these situations? Are we at times being too dismissive? Or why are certain women, feeling that they have to, be on guard? Because, at
Mhm.
times, yeah, some can be very persistent, I would
Correct.
say. And so you'll say no, and they, well, you sure you just don't want a friend? All that. And you just like, no. So sometimes, so it was just really to shed light on all of it. And then the one where, you in the car, that's honestly me and her. Just goofy all the time. If something is funny, we falling out. And so we was like, yeah, let's just do this. And so I remember pulling something out, hitting her with it, she biting my hand, because we just get crazy sometimes when stuff is funny. So we just want to shed light on just the different things, from serious topics to just, everyday funny moments, that we all have, and things that are relatable, to people, that it can start up those conversations in a comedic way, to really dive into things that we are experiencing.
No, I thought it was a great way. I just have to give one more shout out the poetic justice. You girl, that was hilarious. And he was like, both of y'all, and it was so funny. You did it so good. Like, if you know the movie, you know what, and you still put your spin in, because the karate guy, I
So
don't.
so so that's my best friend who we do. She dresses up in the Martin character, and so yeah, so she came on in, and yeah, so we put our spin on, one of those old school classics, and I had to be chewing that gum because Janet was chewing that gum. Poetic justice, okay. She had that gum going, so I was like, if nothing else, I gotta smack this gum.
And guess what? You did it very well with your hat and everything. So it was hilarious, and I love that you guys are really like, y'all really get into the characters. So you made me laugh. Okay, so
Thank you,
and
thank you.
I don't laugh easy. So stuff I'll be like, okay.
But you was laughing on that one.
Oh, and the one with the toilet tissue, when the guy, he was like, "Oh, I'm just trying to," and y'all was like, he was like, "Yeah, I'm married anyway. I'm just trying to tell you
I
guys."
was just trying to help. And so that's what we wanted to make light of, is, sometimes, yeah, somebody just trying to be nice to you. And that can
Yeah,
be, for both ends, but really it was a discussion that happened where men were feeling, just like not appreciated. Like, I just try to talk to you real quick, and you all up in arms about it. So just a, comedic way to bring out a situation that people have at some point or another faced, whether you was the one being rude, or whether, it was a guy coming up to a woman and him feeling like that. Like, dang, I can't even just be nice to some of y'all because, the way that you act. So just, to do a little self check and be like, okay, let me just, because maybe, yeah, a person is just trying to help, and you didn't jumped all off into he want your number, and girl, he was just trying to be nice. Like,
yes.
calm down,
Well,
relax.
I think that's the point that I got for it. Be kind and find out before you assume what it is. And that's the biggest, just, and that should be men, women, and just be kind. And
That's
then
right.
once you know what it is, and if you got to stop somebody because they're out of order, excuse me. No, sir. No, ma'am. And the
There you
spirit in
go.
between.
There you go.
For real.
There you go. There you
Hmm.
go. So at the end of it, that's exactly the point. Be kind.
Yeah.
Let a person, speak their piece. Like they say, I come in peace if you let me. Don't be quick
Correct.
to judge. And that's, men, women, all across the board. Just kindness at
Yeah.
the forefront of all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And that was a great way through comedy to bring those things to light.
Thank you so much.
So let's talk about music
Okay.
again.
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
Yes. So, can you identify a song that you've been singing all your life? I mean, you was getting it, and then you was like, wait 1 minute, I've been singing that song. And then at that moment, you realize what it's all about. Can you identify a song?
I definitely can. And that song is Next, Too Close. Okay. Cause I didn't have no idea what they was talking about. You on the dance floor, all this grinding and moving, and he talking about what? You're making it hard for me. And I'm like, we all in the, hey baby, no, we're crying. I get so excited. Oh, you're dancing real close. What you like? You making it hard for me. What's hard, sir? What's hard for me? And so, yeah, little kid, I had no idea what I was singing. I was
Yes.
just singing it because it's catchy. You getting in the groove. You like. But yeah, as I got older, I was like, oh, I don't need to be singing. I didn't need to be singing that.
Yes, you are.
Dancing all up and all that stuff, and not something that got hard for me. Uh, Now, what's that all about? Because that ain't for me, sir.
That is hilarious. During my first season, a girl mentioned that, and I was like, "Oh, it is. It makes you go back and review the lyrics, and you're like, oh, okay."
Okay.
But it was cleverly done because you
Yes.
thinking it's hard for you to dance with
That's what
somebody.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, you making it hard for me to try to approach it, or you making it hard. That was in my mind. I had no idea what was really hard.
You are a mess. You are a mess. But yes, we all find songs like that we're like, wait a minute, I've been singing this song this long, and now I just realized that
Oh
aha moment.
yeah.
That
That
aha moment.
aha. That,
Yes,
oh, you snuck that in there, huh? Did you?
for
I
sure.
didn't know that. I didn't know that's what that was talking about. Yeah. So
Yes.
that's one that I remember clearly. Like, probably shouldn't have been singing that, but I was getting down, baby.
Well,
I was
with the
getting down.
not just you, many of us was doing that same thing because we did not know. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. So
Yep, it is.
I want to get serious for a minute,
Okay.
and let's talk about you being the founder of CJ's House.
Yes.
If you can tell me the impetus for you to even create this foundation
Hmm.
and the purpose of the foundation.
Okay. Yes. So CJ's House. CJ's House is my son's nonprofit. He's 9 years old now. He was burned when he was 4 years old. So when he was 4 years old, he was burned and he had five surgeries before his fifth birthday. So my little man went through a lot at a young age. And that was a very difficult time for me to go through. During the time, I just, you go through situations and you don't always see that light at the end of the tunnel. So you're there and you're in darkness and you're just feeling like, how could this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? And my child. And I had to turn that pain into purpose. We all go through things in life that can be very hurtful, painful to face, to go through. But the goal is to get through it, get to that other side, right? As gracefully as you can, if you can, with the grace at the time, because sometimes that grace comes at a later date. But when it did come, I said, you know what? Me or my son are going to be victims of a situation or a circumstance. We are going to face what we're going through head on. And I want to have a platform for my son to have to build up and talk about what he's experienced, what he's going through, and to encourage others, kids, adults, all in between, no matter what happens to you, no matter what you go through, you can always put a positive spin on it and use it to help others. When I was going through that, there were times and situations, and I was confused, I was hurt, and I want to be there for other women, families who are facing a difficult situation, traumatic situation, and they don't know where to go for help. They don't know where to turn. So I said, you know what? with the things that we've learned, the resources and people that we have around us, let's be that. Let's be that space where people can come to and relate to, because we are deep in this. It was my son who, went through the pain and the injuries, but it was also me being there through it to help him, because burns are not easy. Burns isn't something that, okay, it happened now. You have to consistently go back for treatments, for, making sure everything is healing correctly. Even just your day to day um can be affected, depending on where that burn is and the whole situation. And so the whole mission of CJ's house is for fitness safety, home safety, and family therapy, to bring awareness to different things that could be in your household and just, around you, that you don't always think of to be a danger. However, with the proper awareness, you can realize that certain things around children and, elders, you just have to be cautious and you have to be careful so that things don't happen that can affect them long term. So it is amazing to have this nonprofit for my son. I love being at events and he is speaking his truth. He is, letting people know, hey, I have my nonprofit. Even though this has happened to me, he was burned on his right arm. And now he's playing the piano, he plays the violin, he wants to learn the guitar. He is very active and, he shows his scars because it is proof that you can push through, that you can be any and everything that you want to be, and nothing in this world can stop you. Nothing, that you've been through, that you're going through. So continue to move forward and continue to be a light that shines for other people to see, and for them to say, you know what? This little young child, has went through so much and he out here and he's encouraging people, and I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna push forward, because if this little guy who's been through, stuff that even adults I've never been through as an adult, um, can get out here and encourage and have a kind word to say and, a smile on his face after he's been through, what he's been through, we all can do it. We all can do it. So that's the the mission, the goal with CJ's house is just to encourage people, be that support, be that community that you need at times, because sometimes all you need is for somebody to come in and say, I understand. Here's this resource. Here's what I personally have been through and what I needed to do to get over that hump. So let me be here to help you in any way that I can. And that's all we need sometimes, is somebody just saying, let me be here to help you. Let me be here to encourage you. Let me be here to inspire and motivate you as much as I can through my story, through my journey. And so I'm happy that we have come to a place and we're continuing to build and grow. And, it hasn't even been a year, having his nonprofit, but we continue to, get out here in the community and just spread the word and connect as much as we can, because that's the ultimate goal, to just connect with as many people who feel they need help and support and be that for them.
Yeah. I like that not only it's a mental space you're supporting, you're also giving tools for things around the house. And
Yes.
sometimes we don't know. We're not aware. And those are good safety tips, just like with swimming, it's certain things that they want you to be aware of if you have little ones around, just to make sure, because they can dart off or things can happen in a quick second. I remember one time I lost my son and I lost my breath. Like, I'm like, in the movies when stuff start to
Yeah.
move slow, that really is a true depiction, because I'm like, Where is he? He just let my hand go for a quick second.
Just a
So
quick second. That's all it takes for anything to happen is a quick second.
yeah, yeah. So I think this is a wonderful way to give back, to tell your story, to help other people. And I just wanted to highlight CJ's it's called CJ's house. I wanted
CJ's house. Whose house? CJ's
CJ's
house.
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 I love it. See, look at
Yep.
her. Just had to Miss Comedian. So thank you for doing that. And I pray that many blessings and you will continue for years and years to help people, because I don't think people really realize, and I only know a little part. So when someone has a burn, people think they go home and heal. They have to go and get treatments to kind of take off the old skin to make sure it's healing properly. They call it, I think, debriefing. Is that what it is?
So it's depending on, it's because it's different levels of burn. So actually in CJ's case, his skin was burned all the way down to the white meat. So it actually had to, they had to go through a process of just having the skin that they cut off from his right leg to go over his arm. They had to prepare it so that it would even connect, basically that skin connecting. So it just is, it depends on the level of the burn, the actual process and healing and treatments that they need. So um, yeah, because it's different from when it's just, surface burn, or like I said, his was all the way down to the white meat. So it was a process. And like I said, he had a sheet graft, which so his right arm was burned, and then the skin from his right leg had to be cut off to place over his arm. So he has a scar on his right leg and his right arm.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
Well, thank you, and I know you will continue to share the story to support those that are in need, and you can help them
Mhm.
along the way. Whether, like you said, resources or safety information or whatever the case may be. So I thank
Yes.
you for moving forward and really doing that, because I know a lot of times we have ideas on those things and want to do it, but moving forward on it sometimes can be a hindrance. So thank you for
Yes.
doing that. I clap you
Yeah.
up.
And, and it's really, it really helps because even his logo, CJ sat there and drew. He was like, I want a little house. I want the, like, I, as much as possible, have him involved because it's his nonprofit. I'm always very clear about that. I am the founder, but that is his nonprofit. This is his journey. It's ours together, but it's his journey, his story. And I want that to be the main thing as he grows up. He has a platform. He has, this, nonprofit that he'll continue to grow in life with and have something to stand on for growing up and saying, I've been in the community, since I was 9 years old before, because I always have him and stuff, but I really just want him to have that, stronghold and foundation of something that's his story, and that he can share with the world as much and as big as he wants to as he continues to grow up.
I love that. I love that. Wow. This has been wonderful talking to you, just really getting to know you on multiple levels. And there's other
Yes.
things that I didn't have the opportunity to talk to you about, but we'll dive in next time. I'm gonna have you on next season so we
Oh,
can
I'm
talk
trying
about.
to tell you, baby, bring me back season after season. I'm ready.
You are best. You are best. But if someone wants to get in contact with you, they want to support CJ's house, they want to find out more about you with hosting your comedian journey, all those things. If you can provide that information, and then after that, I do have one more music question for you.
Okay.
And also mention about your event during the week of the 14th at Mariposa. Talk about that as well.
Okay, all right. So CJ's house, you can find CJ's house underscore LV at Instagram or on Instagram. Mine is Danielle, Danielle, Leniece, Leniece. That's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And then also, if you want to email more information or learn more about CJ's house, it is support at cjshouselv.org. So contact us if you want to be a part of future events, if there's something that you need help with, resources, different things, and reach out to me for different things that you need hosting to find out more information about CJ's house or anything of that nature. Danielle Leniece is the way to get in contact with me. Now, the future events that we have. So on the 17th, I will be hosting karaoke at Mariposa. It's starting at 6 o'clock. Um, so I'm super excited about that. It's for Sisterhood Week. So definitely come out support. If you love karaoke and having a good time, you know I'm gonna turn it up. We're gonna have us a good time. We're gonna get our dance on, get your song ready, all of the things. So that's on the 17th at 6 o'clock. And then on the 20th, I'll be one of the panelists. They're having a Black Girl Creatives panelist, and I'll be one of the panelists speaking on different topics. So that's on the 20th, which is the Friday at 5 o'clock. So we got the 17th, which is a Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Let's turn up. Okay, 6 o'clock at Mariposa. And then on Friday, that 20th, I'll be one of the panelists, and we'll start that at 5 o'clock.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. I know you're going to do a wonderful job, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, my one last question supporting music.
Okay.
Um, this is my third season, as you know, and it's about self discovery. We all have to find out as we evolve what serves us, what no longer serves us,
Yes.
and just continue to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Can you identify a song that you can dedicate to the world that you have discovered about yourself that you can share?
Definitely. Okay. One of the songs that I would love to share that really touches my spirit every time I hear it, and it's Zoom by the Commodores. Okay. That is my go-to, honey. Okay. Because like I've mentioned before, I am a dreamer. I am, a creative at heart. I always want to push towards, those visions, right? That when I close my eyes, what do those visions look like for me? So the song Zoom by the Commodores is one of my favorites because it starts off like these songs, they get right to it in the beginning. And so it says, I may be just a foolish dreamer, okay? But I don't care, okay? I don't care. You call me a foolish dreamer all you want, but I know that my happiness is waiting out there somewhere. So that touches me so deeply because there have been times where what you dreaming and what you thinking other people don't get. They don't understand, right? So continue to be that foolish dreamer, okay? And you dream big, as big as you want. Never let anybody tell you your dream, that's crazy. You can't do that. You keep dreaming, okay? And you go towards that dream with your heart, your spirit, your soul. And I'm telling you, it don't always go as planned, and that's okay. It's okay for things to not always go as planned. You keep dreaming, you keep believing in yourself, and understand that a vision that's for you is for you. It's not for everybody to see. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to stand what? 10 toes down. and you stand your ground and you believe in yourself and you pivot if you need to pivot, but you consistently remain strong within the woman, the man, the person that you are, and don't let nobody knock you off that track. I'm telling you, and I'm gonna say one thing too, because it also mentions I like to fly far away from here. Okay, sometimes that's what you want to do. You just want to fly away from all these situations, these circumstances, and where your mind can be fresh and clear.
Woo.
Get to that place where your mind can be fresh and clear to dream about, to think about whatever it is that your heart and desires are, that really gets you going. You like, you know what, I have a passion, I have a purpose and a mission for this. And so for any of you who haven't heard that song, Zoom by the Commodores, just let it, resonate in your spirit. Just play it and listen to it. And I'm telling you, that's one where that if I'm having a moment, I'm like, Zoom. Okay, because listen, I'm gonna zoom my way on up out of here. I'm gonna go to that place where my mind is fresh and clear. And hopefully we get to that place where everybody is doing what they love and don't not worrying about, oh, this person doing that. Focus on what you love, what you want to do. Spread that love. Be kind to other people. You never know what a person is going through. You never know their situation. So be kind and just be that foolish dreamer and
Mm.
keep dreaming. So that's the song I'm gonna leave.
I love that. What a wonderful way to dedicate to the people. And that song is beautiful. When I get off, I'm going to play it very, very loud and just
Very
let,
loud.
yes, because it puts you in that atmosphere. So I'm going to do that. Thank you for sharing that. Um, Before we get out of here, I'll talk about the journey and the destination. The
Yes.
journey is where we learn and where we grow. The destination is where we celebrate. Far too often, we're working, 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 and we're not celebrating our wins. We have to celebrate our wins. We have to tap ourselves and say, girl, you did that. But we can't be there too long. We got to get back into that journey so we can learn, so we can grow, and we can elevate. And guess what? It'll be another time to go to the journey again to celebrate that. So when I have my men on, I salute them. But when I have my women on, I bow. So I bow to you, beautiful lady. I thank you so very much. And I always give the last words to my guests. So anything that's on your heart, please share.
Once again, thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. It was a pleasure. I'm so honored to be a part of it. Thank you for, digging deep into, some of those things that I kind of forgot about, and the reason behind it. But I really appreciate our bond from the beginning. Like you said, it was divine. And so I'm so excited to see how things unfold for both of us. And I continue to wish you much success, happiness, and peace right back at you.
Oh, I appreciate that. You guys, what a beautiful way to segue out. You guys, please put your hands together for my guest, but also my new friend, Miss Danielle Leniece. And as I say to all my guests, I'll see you out here in these Las Vegas streets.
Hey, and they about to get hot, baby. They about to get hot. These streets is
Girl,
hot.
that is so true. That is so true. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
See you soon.